If I wash your hands, you will speak again. Daddy, I can now speak.
I'll wash your hands, and you'll speak again. David Martinez almost dropped his coffee mug when he heard those words. He ran to the window and looked down at his backyard. His heart started beating fast. A skinny girl, maybe 9 years old, was kneeling in front of his daughter Emma. The girl wore old, torn clothes and no shoes. In her hands was a cracked plastic bowl filled with water. "Who let you in here?" David shouted as he rushed outside. The strange girl looked up at him. She had big, bright eyes that seemed too wise for a child. "Nobody let me in, sir. I climbed over your fence." "You what?" David's face turned red. "I'm calling security right now." "Please don't." The girl stood up quickly. "Your daughter needs help. I can help her." David looked at Emma sitting in her wheelchair. His beautiful 7-year-old daughter stared at nothing, her face blank and empty. Emma hadn't spoken a single word in 8 months. Not since the fire. "My name is Lily," the girl said softly. "I know your daughter can't talk, but she will talk again. I promise." David felt anger rising in his chest. How dare this poor, dirty girl make such promises? The best doctors in California couldn't help Emma. Speech therapists tried everything. Psychologists came to the house 3 times a week. Nothing worked. Emma was locked inside her own silent world. "Look, kid," David said, trying to control his anger. "I don't know what game you're playing, but it's not a game." Lily's voice was calm and sure. "My grandmother taught me how to help people. She said hands hold memories. When we wash them the right way, the memories wake up. And when memories wake up, words come back." David wanted to laugh. This sounded crazy. Washing hands? Memories in hands? What nonsense. But then he saw something that made him stop. Emma was looking at Lily. Actually looking at her. Emma's green eyes, which had been dead and empty for months, suddenly had a tiny spark of life in them. "You can try," came a voice from behind David. He turned. His wife, Maria, stood at the back door. Her face was wet with tears. "Maria, you can't be serious," David said. "This is some random kid who broke into our property." "Our daughter hasn't looked at anything in 8 months, David." Maria's voice broke. "She just looked at this girl. Let her try." David remembered that terrible night. The fire alarm screaming. Smoke everywhere. Emma trapped in her bedroom, calling for help. By the time firefighters broke down the door, Emma was unconscious. She survived, but something inside her broke. The doctors said it was trauma. Her mind shut down to protect itself from the horror. She stopped talking, stopped eating properly, stopped being Emma. "Please, sir," Lily said. "Just 5 minutes. If nothing happens, I'll leave and never come back." David looked at his daughter again. Emma's small hand was reaching out toward the bowl of water. It was the first time in months that Emma had reached for anything. "Fine," David whispered. 5 minutes. Lily smiled. She knelt down again and gently took Emma's hand. The water in the bowl had flowers and leaves floating in it. It smelled like lavender and something else David couldn't identify. "This water is special," Lily explained as she dipped Emma's hand into the bowl. "It has chamomile for calmness, rosemary for remembering, and mint for courage. My grandmother used this recipe for people who lost their voices." David watched, his arms crossed. This was ridiculous. Superstition. Old wives' tales. But he couldn't look away. Lily washed Emma's hand slowly, carefully. She moved her fingers in small circles, humming a soft melody. "Your hands remember everything," Lily whispered to Emma. "They remember holding your toys. They remember hugging your mama. They remember clapping when you were happy. Let's remind them." Emma's eyes filled with tears. For the first time since the fire, David's daughter was crying. Real tears. Real emotion. "Oh my God," Maria whispered, her hand covering her mouth. And David Martinez realized that maybe, just maybe, this strange little girl with the cracked bowl wasn't crazy after all. Lily came back the next day at exactly 3 o'clock. David was waiting for her at the gate this time. "How did you know Emma needed help?" he asked. Lily adjusted the bowl in her arms. "I saw her through your fence last week. Her hands were so tight, like fists. That's how hands look when someone is holding words inside but can't let them out. David led her to the backyard where Emma waited. Maria had dressed Emma in her favorite yellow dress, the first time she cared about clothes in months. "Good afternoon, Emma," Lily said cheerfully. "Ready for another hand wash?" Emma nodded. David and Maria looked at each other in shock. Lily prepared her bowl with fresh water, adding her special herbs. "My grandmother taught me this when I was 6, she explained while working. She said every person has a voice, even when they can't speak. Sometimes a voice just gets scared and hides." "Where's your grandmother now?" Maria asked gently. Lily's hand stopped moving for a second. "She went blind 2 years ago. She was helping people escape from a building fire. Smoke damaged her eye forever, but she says she can still see with her heart." Maria gasped. "A fire?" "Yes. That's why I knew I could help Emma. My grandmother helped lots of people who survived fires. She knows how fire can steal someone's voice." David felt goosebumps on his arms. This wasn't coincidence. This was something else. Something he didn't understand. For 20 minutes, Lily washed Emma's hands. She pressed certain spots on Emma's palms and fingers. "This spot helps you remember happy things," she said, pressing Emma's thumb. "This spot helps you feel brave," she said, pressing the center of Emma's palm. When she finished, Lily dried Emma's hands with a soft cloth. "Tomorrow, try to hum," she told Emma. "Just humming. No words yet. Can you try?" Emma stared at Lily for a long moment. Then she nodded again. Over the next week, Lily came every single day. Rain or shine, she appeared at 3 o'clock with her bowl and herbs. David tried to pay her, but Lily refused. "My grandmother says healing isn't about money," Lily explained. "It's about love." On the 8th day, something amazing happened. While Lily washed Emma's hands, Emma made a sound. A tiny humming sound, barely louder than a whisper. But it was there. "Yes!" Lily jumped up, clapping. "You did it, Emma. You made music." Maria burst into tears. David had to sit down because his legs felt weak. But not everyone was happy. Dr. Stevens, Emma's speech therapist, came for her regular appointment that afternoon. When David told him about Lily's work, Dr. Stevens frowned. "Mr. Martinez, this is dangerous," he said seriously. "You're putting your daughter's recovery in the hands of an untrained child. This hand-washing is not real medicine. Emma needs professional therapy, not folk magic." "But she's making sounds now," Maria argued. "She hasn't made sounds in 8 months." "That could be natural recovery," Dr. Stevens said. "Or it could be coincidence. Please don't waste your hopes on superstition." That night, David and Maria argued. "The doctor is right," David said. "We should focus on real medicine." "Lily is real medicine." Maria shot back. "Our daughter is humming." "David, humming? When's the last time any of your expensive doctors made that happen?" David had no answer. The next day, he told Lily what Dr. Stevens said. Lily just smiled. "Doctors know a lot," she said, "but they don't know everything. My grandmother says there are 2 types of healing, head healing and heart healing. Doctors do head healing. I do heart healing. Emma needs both." That afternoon, during the hand washing, Emma did something incredible. She whispered, one tiny word, so quiet David almost missed it. "Lily." Emma had said Lily's name. Lily hugged Emma tight. "See? Your voice was just hiding. But it's coming back now. Word by word, it's coming home." David fell to his knees in the grass, tears streaming down his face. His little girl was speaking again. His Emma was coming back. Maria ran inside to call everyone, grandparents, aunts, uncles, friends. Emma spoke. She shouted into the phone. "Our baby spoke." And David looked at the skinny 9-year-old girl with a cracked bowl and realized something important. Sometimes miracles come in the most unexpected packages. Sometimes the smallest people carry the biggest gifts. 3 months later, Emma was talking in full sentences, not just single words, real conversations. She told her parents about her dreams. She laughed at jokes. She sang songs in the shower. The silent, broken girl was gone. Emma was alive again, Tell me about the fire, Lily said one afternoon during their hand-washing session. Everyone froze. David and Maria had never asked Emma about that night. They were too scared of hurting her. But Emma looked at Lily and started talking. I was so scared, Emma said quietly. I called for help, but smoke filled my mouth. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't scream. The smoke stole my voice that night. Lily held Emma's hands tight. But you survived. You were so brave. And your voice came back because you never really lost it. It was just sleeping, waiting for the right time to wake up. Emma smiled. You woke it up. We woke it up together, Lily corrected. David decided he had to meet Lily's grandmother. He drove Lily home that evening. Her house was tiny, barely bigger than his garage. Paint was peeling off the walls. The roof had holes. Inside, an old woman sat in a rocking chair. Her eyes were cloudy white, completely blind. But when David entered, she turned her head toward him like she could see. You're Emma's father, the grandmother said. It wasn't a question. How did you know? David asked, shocked. I can hear it in your footsteps. You walk like a man who's been carrying heavy sadness, but now the sadness is lifting. David sat down. Your granddaughter saved my daughter's life. How can I repay you? The old woman smiled. You can't repay a gift. You can only pass it forward. What do you mean? There are other children who need help. Children the doctors give up on. Children whose families have no hope left. Help them. That night, David couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about the old woman's words. Pass it forward. By morning, he'd made a decision. David owned a successful software company. He had money. He had resources. He had power. Why not use it to help children like Emma? 6 months later, the second Voice Center opened in Los Angeles. It combined real medical therapy with traditional healing methods. Doctors worked alongside healers like Lily and her grandmother. Speech therapists learned about hand-washing rituals. Psychologists studied how herbs and touch could unlock trauma. The center was free for families who couldn't afford treatment. Emma was the center's first success story. She gave tours to new families, telling them, I couldn't speak for 8 months. Now I can't stop talking. Her laughter gave hope to parents who'd lost all hope. Lily, now 10 years old, worked at the center after school. She taught other healers her grandmother's methods. She washed the hands of children who'd stopped speaking after accidents, abuse, or trauma. And one by one, those children found their voices again. Emma's story spread across the country. News channels interviewed the family. Magazines wrote articles. Other cities wanted to open centers like David's. 5 years passed. Lily grew into a teenager. She studied to become a real therapist, combining her grandmother's wisdom with modern psychology. Emma, now 12, started a YouTube channel for kids recovering from trauma. Her videos got millions of views. One afternoon, a new family came to the center. A 6-year-old girl named Sophie hadn't spoken since witnessing a terrible car accident. Her parents were desperate. Emma and Lily looked at each other and smiled. We can help her, they said together. Lily knelt down with her bowl of herbal water. Emma sat beside Sophie, holding her other hand. Your voice isn't gone, Lily told Sophie. It's just hiding, but we're going to find it together. And as Lily began washing Sophie's hands, Emma whispered, I know you're scared. I was scared too, but look at me now. I found my voice again, and you will too. David watched from across the room, tears in his eyes. His daughter wasn't just healed. She was a healer now. The old grandmother's words echoed in his mind, pass it forward. And that's exactly what they did. Now it's your turn. What did you think of Emma and Lily's incredible journey? Did this story touch your heart? Have you ever met someone who helped you in an unexpected way? Do you believe in the power of hope and ancient healing wisdom? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your story might inspire someone else who needs hope today. If this story moved you, smash that like button. Subscribe so you never miss our next inspiring story. Share this with someone who needs to believe in miracles again. Remember, sometimes the smallest people carry the biggest gifts. Sometimes help comes from the most unexpected places. And sometimes, all we need is someone who believes in us when everyone else has given up. See you in the next story.